Are live here. Hello, and welcome to Sharing Your Story with Harabed's Thoughts. And I have Miss Sarah. All I do is win Ausby, and I will let her introduce herself. And without further ado, here she is, bringing her to the stage.
Hello, hello, hello. Great evening, everyone. I am Sarah. All I do is win Ausby, motivational and edification speaker, best-selling author in the stand-up anthology and movement, volume 1, and I am also the founder and co-CEO of Boss Business Queen LLC. And I am excited to be here with you all this evening. I am so excited. So thank you, Deborah, for having me. I appreciate you.
You are very welcome, Sarah. Thank you so much for coming on here. And hello, Cherie. She says, "What's up, Queens?" We thank you so much
Hey,
for having us.
Cherise.
And yes, and Sarah says hello. And for all of you that do join us, make sure you give StreamYard permission to share your comments so that we can see your comments and welcome you here to the show. And again, thank you so much for coming in and joining us. So, Miss Sarah, all I do is win Osby. So let's tell us a little bit about you and how did you get started? Just tell us the first. I guess want to say the did you get started first with Mom's Wings and Things or with your writing career?
It would be Ma's Wings and Things.
Okay,
Ma's
okay,
Wings and Things has been uh, the catalyst, I would say, for everything else that I'm doing right now. It was the start of it all. It
okay,
was,
okay.
yeah. So Ma's Wings and Things was born out of a need. In 2014, July 4th, 2014 to be exact, I
Mhm,
came back to Syracuse, New York from Tucson, Arizona, and I
mhm,
was homeless. I lost everything, two
mhm,
storages gone, car, everything gone. So I stayed with a person that I know. They invited me to stay with them, and I'm
mhm,
glad that she did. Coming back to Syracuse was absolutely the best thing that I could have done for myself, even though it
mhm.
was the last thing that I wanted to do. I never wanted to move back here because I was hurt here.
Right.
So this is where I lost my husband. I became widowed at 33 years old and I moved to Tucson, Arizona. And that is why I was there and then
Okay.
now returned to Syracuse. So when I came back, like I said, I didn't have anything. My children were adults living on their own. And they decided to stay out west, and I'm glad that they did.
Mhm.
Um, but coming back, it was a huge change for me. And it wasn't something that I could say that I immediately welcomed
Mhm.
because I didn't. But I did then just submit to the fact that this, and the truth of the matter, which was that this is where God had designed for me to be for a particular purpose and a season.
Right.
So I did begin to settle into that, but
Oh,
it would be April 1st of 2016 when I would gain my own apartment.
okay.
And it was through utilizing resources here in Syracuse.
Okay.
When I tell you that the favor of God was all over the situation, I'm telling you it was nothing but the hand of God.
Right.
I mean, I didn't have to say anything other than what was true. And
Right.
what was true at that time is that I didn't have my own place to live. I
Mhm.
desired my own place to live and an income, but because of at the time mental and physical distresses, I was not able to obtain employment. My doctor told me that he would not release me to go back to work. I would be a liability. And so he deemed me totally disabled physically.
Okay.
And yeah, and I had a therapist that said that mentally, I was disabled and that I would not be able to hold gainful employment. And so, you know, friends
Right.
talk to you, family members, everyone's, you should Social Security, you should, you've been working for so long. And that's fine. I have a whole thing with Social Security that I won't go into right now, but
Right.
just know that it's our money. They take it out of our paychecks, right? So it's our
Of
money.
course, right.
But somehow I was unable to satisfy their queries. And so, even with the doctors saying that I was disabled and the
Mhm.
therapists, and they still denied me. And that happened for about 6 years
Oh, wow.
before I decided that enough was enough.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I did move into the first apartment, though, I did not have any income and I needed an income. And
Right.
the person that I had been a roommate with said, your food is really good. You should sell
Mhm.
dinners. That's a big thing around this city, and Syracuse is a small city.
Okay.
I wasn't known for cooking.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I was known for having children, being the wife of Donald, going to church, but I was not known around the city for cooking.
Okay.
So that was a challenge that I needed to overcome. And so initially it was just three good customers that I had. And I just sold dinners and I was making everything that I knew how to make. And at that time it was called Ma's Kitchen.
Okay.
And it was Ma's Kitchen up
Mm.
until 2020 when the
Okay.
pandemic hit
Oh,
is when
yeah.
I actually niched down to the wings. And that is when, in the same year that Boss Business Queen was born, Ma's Wings and Things was also born and
Mm.
began to take root and grow. And
Okay.
so that had been the start of it all. And it is also a part of what brought me to be able to say that I am an international best-selling author
Yes.
because it would be on that page
Mm-hmm.
on a faithful day that I would see Miss Ardenae Gardner going
Yes.
live asking people if God had called them to write their story. And if God called you to write your story, she wanted you to say me in the comments. And then she said, if you were interested in writing your story,
Mm-hmm.
inbox her. I did. We connected. And that is how I began to tell my story. And I wrote a chapter in this book, which I'm going to show you, which
Mm-hmm.
is Stand Up Resilient Black Women Who Are Shaping the World with Their Faith, Volume 1. I am one of 18 authors in this book, and it is what propelled me into public speaking. But if it had not been for the food, I would not have had that page. She could
Okay.
not have been on it for me to see because prior to that, we had not interacted. I
Okay.
did not know who she was. She was just
Right.
a friend on my Facebook page who I'd
Right.
never seen or interacted with.
Now, and see how God works. So you, like you said, you were doing something totally different when thinking about a book. Just
Yeah.
trying to sell your food, trying to survive, basically.
Yes. Yes.
And,
That
and
was
God brought
exactly
a
what I
right.
was doing.
And
I
God
had
brought a
not
whole different avenue
Yeah,
into.
I didn't have even the foresight to think. And I had done some entrepreneurial things in the past. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've sold real estate and I had a
Okay.
gift shop here back in 2001, but
Mhm.
nothing to this magnitude. And
Right.
so I hadn't thought about, oh, I'll open a restaurant. When people would say to me, you should open a restaurant in
Right.
that first year, I would simply respond to them, no, I don't want a restaurant because if I have a restaurant, then I have to go get the customers to come to the location. What I desire is a food truck because I can take the food truck and go where I like.
Mm.
Well, as God would have it, both are in my business plan. So
Okay.
I'm currently in the process of getting ready to launch a
Right.
fundraiser, as you know, for the brick and mortar, right?
That's,
And God has totally brought that about in the most spectacular way.
that's,
And even the fact that I am sitting here on your show speaking to you,
this is,
it's nothing but God. Because what I want to share with your audience, if you allow me,
of course.
is for them to understand that I met Deborah on a Clubhouse app. It's a social media app, much like Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, but you see a picture and you hear a voice. So it's an audio app. You see the picture and you hear a voice. I met Deborah in this space. And because of this space that we're in, every morning, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 days a week, we connected. And
Yes,
now we are here.
yes,
I'm on her show. And
yes.
that just has God's fingerprints all over it.
All over it, all over it. I was like,
Yeah.
Sarah's gonna be on my show.
Yeah. And I was like, Deborah's gonna have me on her show.
It's just like the excitement. It's just like God just bringing us all together, you know. And I
Yes.
was like, oh my God, I come to interview Sarah. Like, and you may not see yourself as famous as, you know, this
Oh,
amazing person, but to me, I admire you. And even after,
God
like,
bless
speaking with you, like, on Clubhouse and on Facebook here and there, and I, you know, hear your story, and we already just, I can feel that connection. But then even after reading your excerpt in the book, I was like, wow, you know, and she went through that, and you can't even like beauty from the ashes. You can't even see
you.
any of that. It's like God just protected you. He brought you through it, and you can't even see any of that. You know, He
And
just carried you through, and that's a blessing. That's motivation
yes.
to just
Yes.
keep going.
You know, I like to tell people that I don't look like what I've been through, and I
Oh
thank
man, you
God.
don't.
I thank God that I don't look like what I've been through,
No man,
that there aren't any remnants, no residue,
none at
you
all.
know, and also that nothing has been wasted. You know, about almost 2 years ago now, I had an interview, if not 2 years ago, on another podcast from a gentleman with a gentleman named Tyson Robinson, and he was pretty awesome. And in the interview, he asked me a question about all of the people from back then after reading, you know,
Mhm.
in the book about the being bullied and things like that, the
Right.
molestation and such. And so he was asking, how, in a sense, like, what would I say to them now, kind of thing.
Right.
And I can say that I felt so good in the response because it was my heart. It is my heart, which is that I thank them. Every
Mhm.
person that ever wronged me, that ever abused me, used me, lied on me, stole from me, cheated on me,
Right.
anyone cast me to the side,
Mhm.
disregard me for nothing,
Right.
muted my voice. I thank you. I
Right.
really do. Because without all of those experiences,
Right.
I would not be Sarah. All I do is win Ausby. I wouldn't be this person, this wonderful person that God has designed me to be today. I wouldn't know my purpose. I wouldn't know who she
Right.
is. So it's through those struggles. And to
Mm.
them, nothing, nothing God said would be wasted, and nothing has. I was told I
Right.
talk too much. Now I'm a motivational speaker.
Right. You get paid to speak.
People are paying me. Exactly.
Hello.
And
Come
I'm not
on.
cheap
Come
either.
on, Jesus.
Okay.
Come on.
And I'm not cheap. So,
Right. That's right.
it's things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't told, "Oh, you're beautiful." There were
Right.
other girls my age, made fun of the way I looked and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But look at me now. I'm
Right.
stronger.
Exactly.
I'm wiser.
Beautiful,
I'm
strong, and
better.
smart.
Like,
Yes.
look at me
Yes.
now.
Exactly.
So I'm just grateful. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember even I told my niece, one of my nieces who is super talented at finding people. So I'm
Right.
looking for her to find someone for me. And that
Mhm.
person would be the young woman in the book, in my chapter that I speak about. And my chapter is entitled My Journey from Death to Life. And it
Mhm.
is my story, a piece of my story from childhood to adulthood.
Mhm.
And in there, in about sixth grade, I was bullied pretty bad. This young lady stuck safety pins in my butt.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And it seemed like no one could make it stop. No one but my dad, no
Mhm.
one but my father,
Mhm.
who moved that person. She was new to our school, and so I
Right.
don't know why I was the target. In particular back then, but now I can say that I know that it was my spirit, it was my anointing that I
Right.
carry, and the spirit that she was carrying at the time allowed her to have a certain feeling towards me
Right.
because they, that spirit could see my anointing and was
All
trying to
your life.
kill it.
Yeah.
So, but God didn't allow that, and He moved that young woman. But today,
Mhm.
what I understand is she herself must have been in distress, in deep distress, because she wasn't in our school but maybe a week, which now tells me in my adult years that she was probably in foster care
Yes.
if
Yes.
she had a home at all. And because of some of the behaviors that I remember of her, she was being molested.
Oh, so she was basically acting out because she was hurting. Mm.
Yeah. So we know that hurt
People
people.
hurt people.
Right? And
Right.
so that is what happened. And I won't even say, unfortunately, that it was me that she chose,
Right.
because had it been someone else, they may not have survived.
Right. They wouldn't have
They
kind of
may not have
been
made it.
totally different. Right. Or
But
she
God
might not even
knew
have made it,
that I could take it. He said
Mhm.
that I am the woman
Right.
for the job. And so
Yes.
it had to be me.
Right.
And so I do pray that my niece is able to find her, and I pray that she is well. And that is what
Mhm.
I'm looking to find, that she is well and that she is
Right.
now herself serving God. And
Yes.
wouldn't that just be so amazing? And if she is
Yes. And she
not,
has
I would
peace.
love to be the person to lead
Right.
her to Him.
Yes, that she has peace, that she's, at peace with him and that she's, living her life to glorify him now,
Yes.
from whatever she went through.
Yes.
Because when you were talking about the foster care and everything, and I thought about it because at different times in my life, I worked in the foster care agencies myself in group homes, down on the ground floor with the children, and I know they all went through something, the reason they were there, whether it was behavior problems, whether either they did something or the parents did something. Either way, they were there for some reason or another. And my coworkers would always basically kind of ridicule me for having compassion for
Mm.
them. Oh, you're being too nice, you're being too sweet. I understand, you have to be disciplined and a little structured to a certain extent, but the children are hurting. They need someone to have a little bit of compassion for them, a little bit of understanding. They're not just there, they're not acting out just because they just want to act out. I mean, yes,
Right.
some people, some may kind of, just act out sometimes, but for the most part, they're acting out because they're hurting. They went through something, and then we all, as the staff, have their files, so we know they've gone through something. And
Yes.
I'm not saying give them a pass, but, for those that are listening, reach out to those children, sit and have a conversation with them, talk to them, just hear them out sometimes and see how you can be, sometimes they just need a listening ear, to help them. Because I know you mentioned in your story how, a lot of times you ran away from the group
Yes.
homes because you didn't
Yes.
want to be there, you didn't feel comfortable, you didn't, didn't feel loved, you didn't feel wanted even there.
Yeah.
So, people still need to feel wanted and feel loved, even if they've been sent to the group homes.
That's right. That's
Right,
right.
right, and you don't, you never know how they're gonna turn up and grow up to be, change their life, turn their life
Best-selling
around,
authors.
best-selling authors, own their own businesses.
That's right.
It's you never know how people's lives are gonna turn out if they just have that chance, to be able to say, hey. It's gonna be okay. Hey, you can do this. You can have a better life. There is another way. There is someone else who can help you. There is someone upstairs. The man above. He can help you. We can give you strength. We can be there for you. There is another way,
Yes.
and that's what they need sometimes. That's what they
Yes.
need.
Yeah,
That's just,
sometimes it is. I will say that uh, there were a village of people
hmm
that attempted to speak to me. I
right.
do believe that in my particular situation, the
hmm
issue was just that when in the book I speak of when I was 9 years old, but the truth of the
Right.
matter is when I was 6 years old, I
hmm
was violated by
Right.
what was supposed to be a family friend. And I vividly remember that. Even right now, as I speak it to you, I vividly
hmm
remember it. Yes.
hmm
And then 9 years old was the second time. And then as a teenager, I was sexually raped. I was assaulted
Right.
by someone that said he knew my brother, is the way I'll describe it.
Right. Okay.
Um, and then just throughout the years, different things would happen. And so, as I said in the book, if a man or a male was very aggressive in that manner, I felt like I had no choice.
Right.
Like I had to succumb and submit to what they were
They,
asking. I
right.
thank God for his protection,
hmm
and that even though I felt that way, that
Right.
every man I came in contact with did not know that.
Right. Right. They just thought you just willingly, but
Yeah,
but you
just
still
being
cut.
a people pleaser
Right. Exactly. And a lot of people don't
because I
realize.
was. I so desperately wanted to be, uh, feeling the need, like I was
Right.
needed,
Needed to be. Yeah. Need to be
Yeah.
needed.
And feeling like I wanted to feel loved the way I wanted to feel loved,
Right. Right.
not the way that it was decided that it would be given to me. But
Right.
I knew I was different. I
Mm,
knew that I
right.
was different. I knew I was special, but I didn't know why. And
Right.
now I do.
Right. Now you know.
And
Yeah.
now I
They
do.
took that away. They took that control away from you when
Yeah.
they abused you. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
mm,
and it did for a period of time. It did.
mhm.
But I get real big and bad when I talk about my dad. Like,
Uh,
well, do you know who my father is?
right.
And
Exactly.
so he is the restorer.
Yes,
And
he
so
is.
he is restoring everything that the locust, the cankerworm, and the palmer worm
Yes.
that they ate away. He is
Mhm.
restoring it a
Yes.
hundred folds. He is
Yes.
restoring it.
Yes.
So everything that the adversary meant for my demise
Right.
turned out to be some of the greatest victories of my life.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Because of my past, now I have a story to share.
Right. Exactly.
Because of my past, now I can help young girls. I have a program
Yes.
designed to help young girls
Mhm.
because I understand and I know what I would have desired as
Right.
that young girl. And I did work in a group home and connected with some young women as well. It was one of
Mhm.
my desires when I
Right.
was in the group home that one day I would go back and I would work in a group home and help some young
Mhm.
girls. And I thank God that I was allowed to do that in
Right.
my time of employment for others. But
Mhm.
when it came to an end, it came to an end.
Right.
And I can say that because with Ma's Wings and Things, there were
Mhm.
times when things were dry.
Right. With everything, there comes a time.
Exactly. And I went,
Know
Lord, I need some help. I need some income. What is
that.
happening here? But
Mhm.
God always, always
Mhm.
made way, always provided. It was always right there in front of me. And as long as I stayed consistent
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and
Consistent
obedient
and faithful. Yes.
and stayed in faith,
Yes.
that is why I am where I am now. That's why I have Mom's Wings and Things. That's why
Mm-hmm.
I have Boss Business Queen helping people to transform their mindset. That
Yes.
is why I have Glow Girls Corp, helping young girls build
Mm,
self-esteem, self-confidence,
mm,
right? And form a sisterhood, showing
right.
them that they are special, they
Yes.
are unique,
Yes, they are.
they are important, and they are valuable.
Right. And they need to know that they do.
And
They,
they need to know that.
yes.
And these are reasons why I can have some of these things that I have. The
Mm-hmm.
public speaking, Sarah Ausby Ventures, this
Mm-hmm.
is this is not something that I would have ever done in and of myself. So
Right.
it took God bringing me to a person like Ardenae, who
Mm-hmm.
is so
Right.
amazing. I love this woman. I've
Yeah.
said in private what I will now say in public. I've never doted on another woman so much ever
Right.
in my life, ever,
Right.
you
Mm-hmm.
know, and it's just because, well, outside of my mother, but it's just
Right.
because I appreciate her being so genuine and her
Yeah.
authenticity, you
Mm-hmm.
know. That had not been my experience with women over the years. And
Right.
so it is refreshing to meet someone of that nature. And
Mm-hmm.
then, you know, just to be around her and see her personality is just all the more. So I'm really grateful
Right.
that God decided to assign me to Ardenae Gardner. I am
Right.
very grateful for that. I love her. I appreciate her and her obedient yes, because her obedient yes begat my obedient yes.
Yes, I'm glad. I'm grateful for her too. Because if she hadn't created the group, I would not have met you all here, and a lot of you all here on the show with us right now watching. If she hadn't created the group and the book and everything, I would not have met a lot of you all here. So I'm grateful for that too, and that I continue to grow and learn all about everything in the group as well. So us as authors, supporting authors,
Yeah,
it's just a beautiful sisterhood that's growing. And
it really
it
is.
is. And I'm just hearing
Really
all
is.
the different connections and everything. And like you said, like with sisterhood, as women, sometimes, women is like, okay, can I trust her? Can I trust her? And it gets iffy sometimes, But you can find a good group of women that that you can really trust, and it matters. It really does matter. It makes you feel at home.
It
I said,
does.
and I always say, and I have to mention, I said, I was thinking about today. I said, now as far as like, I do have my actual church, but I said as far as like, groups like this, I said, Speak Those Sis, that's like my home church. I said, but now, the our group here on Clubhouse, it's like my visiting church. It's
Yeah.
my second church now.
Home away from home. Yeah.
Yeah, my home away from home now. So I said, I got two home churches now. Because
Yeah.
it's just a beautiful sisterhood. And I love it. I love all of you. And I appreciate all of loving and supporting and embracing. And like we were talking earlier, today I say I know sometimes I'll go a little MIA for a little while. I won't get up early in the morning to get on. But then when I do come back here, you all just welcome me with open arms, and I really do appreciate that. So I just want to publicly thank you all for always welcoming me back, and just with open arms, and I do appreciate all that.
That's what we do.
Yes,
That's what we do, you know, and it really is a beautiful space,
it
you
is.
know, and more people, more women should think about
Right.
joining, because what I realized, even in what you were saying, you know, things with the women, what I really realized is it's not the women. It's
Hmm.
not the women, it's the spirit that they're allowing to use them, right? So
Right.
we're not warring against flesh and blood here. This
Right.
is, you know, spirits of principalities of darkness, you
Yes.
know,
Right.
and wickedness that are sitting in high places. And so this
Hmm.
is this is what we're warring against. And
Right.
so I love the group of women in the Daily Inspiration for Authors room, because we are dispelling the myth that women can't get along, and we have certainly dispelled the myth that melanated women can't get along, and
Hmm.
we have dispelled the myth that women from other countries can't
Yes.
get along, as we have
Exactly.
a friend from
Right.
from Osaka, Japan, and
Japan,
we have
yes,
friends from
exactly.
Scotland that pops in, and Sarah comes
Right.
in from Australia. So we
Yes,
even
I
have
love
men
that.
in there that come in and
Right. I
speak
love
with
that.
us. So
Mm-hmm.
it is amazing. It
It
is
is.
amazing.
It really is
It
amazing.
helped to bring me to be a part of who I am as well,
Yeah.
because now I'm working on my solo book and it's
Yes.
forthcoming. And
Yes.
that came about because of that space, because we were in that space. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm very, very grateful
Mm-hmm.
for Ardenae, for the space, and, for you all, because we have some amazing women in
Yeah.
that space. Amazing and powerful women, executives and publishers and
Yes.
authors. And listen,
We
we
do
have some.
marketing, exec, everyone. I'm like,
Yes,
wow.
yes, all walks of life. So yeah, it's very exciting, and it's very
Mm-hmm.
comforting to see.
It
It
is.
really is.
It is, and
Yeah.
it's good, and it's nice to be with women of faith as well.
Yes.
To be in a group with like-minded women of faith. Because sometimes, you get a little weary. Sometimes, life be life and going things going on. And sometimes you get discouraged. But it's good to and everyone's in there. You sharing scriptures and things of that nature. On different days, talking about health and everything. And it's just good to be able to have that different type of encouragement on the days when you need it, because you don't know what you may need on a different day. And you pop in there, and that's God knows exactly what you need when you need it. And that's
Yes.
why I always say He knows what I need when I need it, and I pop on in. And
Yes.
excuse me, you all. And we are going to pause and take a 34-second break for just a second to let you all watch a quick commercial. And pause, bear with me just 1 second. Let me see here. Yes, here we go.
Motivational edification speaker and mindset transformation coach. I speak at a variety of colleges, businesses, and private events in a variety of states across the nation. I am a best-selling author in the book Stand Up, Resilient Black Women Who Are Shaping the World with Their Faith. You can book me on my website, www.sarah-ausby.com.
And we are back. Were you all able to hear that?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. I'm glad you all were able to hear that. And that's Miss Sarah's commercial. But
Thank
yeah, it's all about supporting one another and just as authors, we have to promote our work, especially as self-published authors, as indie authors. It's not easy out here trying to share our work and get our work out here. We're not going through the larger publishing companies, that They spend the millions or hundreds and thousands or whatever, bucks or whatever,
Right.
putting the author's books and things out there. So I like to do other things to promote our work as well. And of course, like that I'm also a self-published author as well. So I like to do different things again, like I said, to promote our work. And we are, and of course, thank you all so much for coming on. We have Dr. Latoya is on. We have Miss Latoya
Alright.
also on for Kitchen Conversations. I saw her chime in. And we have Miss Peggy is on here as well.
Peggy.
Dorothy Cephas, one of my Facebook friends, she's on. She's also an author as well.
Hello.
Unique quotes and expressions also from Facebook, and of course Sharice is on there, and Tashika is also on there. So thank you all for joining. I hope you're still on there with us, ladies. So again, thank you so much for joining, and we will go ahead and continue on with this amazing conversation. So yes, Miss Sarah, all I do is win Ausby.
No matter what it looks like.
That is right, no matter what it looks like. So yes, so let's just elaborate a little bit on more of like you and your story again as just you being a mom and as you were a wife at one point, and I know you lost you have a you lost your husband. How I know you went through that stage in life. I am divorced, but I didn't lose my husband, so I don't know how that feels. How were you able to juggle everything and really bounce back?
Well, in full transparency, I wasn't able to. So after my husband passed, I had a nervous breakdown in front of everyone. No one knew.
That's
People
hard.
said, how could no one know? I wore a mask. I
Mm,
wore a mask. The reality is that after my husband passed away, and it was a sudden thing, uh, when he passed away, I was devastated. The kids were devastated. And I could feel the break in my mind.
mm-hmm,
I could feel it because it then I became homicidal.
mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Towards the doctor that performed the
Right.
surgery on my husband, I became
Okay.
homicidal in my thoughts.
Okay.
And I was seeking to make good on the thoughts.
Okay. That's powerful. Okay.
So it was God's grace and mercy that saved me, because even in my mental breakdown, He scooped me up and let me make this decision in that state to move to Tucson, Arizona with my children, where
Mm,
my eldest brother lived. And it really, if you look back at it, it sounds
right.
insane
Mm,
because my husband passed, my family was here with me to support,
mm-hmm,
and my brother simply said, you should think about moving to Tucson. And
mm-hmm.
I looked at him, and I'd never been out west before.
Okay.
Never. I
Right.
looked at him and I said, you know what? That sounds like a good idea. Kids, we're moving to Tucson. And they were like, what?
Right.
No, we don't want to go,
Right. You lost school and everything.
and but of course they had no choice because I'm a
Right.
parent, and
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, these things went unrecognized. And so it
Right.
would be after I moved to Tucson, which was 3 months after he passed. I moved to Tucson, and it would be one of my cousins that called me to check on me
Right.
regularly, and
Mhm.
he is a minister.
Right.
And so he called me and he asked me how I was doing, and
Mhm.
I could hear clear as day the Holy Spirit tell me to
Okay. Okay.
tell him that every day when the children leave for school, that they sprawl out face down on the floor, crying out to God, feeling like I'm losing my mind,
Mhm.
because that's what I felt like. I don't even know in the day to day to be able to explain to you how I made it through. But I do know that there was a lot of depression.
Mm-hmm.
I lived a lot of my life in those years in my bedroom,
Okay.
from my bedroom, and
Right.
in it. And so I went places that I needed to go, school events for the kids and things like that.
Right. You're
Um,
surviving.
yeah, and so it was, and even when I was engaged with family or community, whenever I was outside of the home, in
Mm-hmm.
my mind, I was always thinking, I can't wait to get out of here and get back home.
Mm-hmm. Right.
No matter how much fun it seemed like I was having,
Mm-hmm.
in my mind, I
Right.
could not wait to get out of here and get back home and
Right.
just be by myself. And it wouldn't be until maybe about 2014, 2015 when I realized that the adversary was having his way with me.
Right. Exactly. He's keeping you
Yeah, my
down.
my thoughts, my
Right. He's
emotions.
keeping you down. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so in it would be about 2016, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
It would be 2017 when I truly began to intentionally focus on mindset transformation.
Okay. Okay.
And it wasn't what I was calling it back then. All I knew was
Right.
Romans 12 and 2,
Okay.
a renewed mind. That's what I knew. And
Mm-hmm.
so I began to speak life to myself as my body was trying to fail me and I could barely stand up straight. I could barely walk up the street. I was in excruciating pain
Mm-hmm.
from head to toe. I was depressed, full of anxiety, PTSD. You know, they said major depressive disorder is what they say. I love sharing that part of the story in particular because
Mm-hmm.
I love to bring it around to the now. And I don't take medication. I need
Right.
that to be understood as
Mm-hmm.
well. I don't take their narcotics. I
Right.
tried their pills for about 2 months and I felt like a zombie.
Right.
And God told me one word:
Right.
stop.
Right.
And
Right.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I began to confess 1 Peter 2 and 24. And I
Mm-hmm.
began to declare and decree and to confess Ephesians 3:20
Mm-hmm.
over every situation that I was facing and dealing with. Mental, physical, financial, everything.
Yes.
Everything. And
Mm-hmm.
began to watch God move.
Yes.
Watch God move. When just cooking in the from the kitchen and selling dinners. I
Right.
was traveling, going to Arizona and to Vegas to see my family and
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Right.
And looking back, I can trace God in every bit of it
Right.
because I didn't have the finances. It wasn't then what it is now.
Right.
So I say that to say that now I get a lot of catering events and a
Okay.
lot of vending events for Ma's Wings and Things.
Right. Okay.
At that time, that was not the case. I could easily book one event right now, buy a ticket, it would pay for a whole vacation.
Right.
That
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the case. I was selling dinners for $10.
Okay. Okay.
One meat, two sides, and the wings was began to be the only meat that I served. And so
Right.
that's why I said, that is the catalyst for everything, all the businesses that I have now, everything that I'm doing now, because
Okay.
that is where it started for me,
Okay.
you
Okay.
know, and
Okay.
I'm grateful. And I
So,
will say, yes, God, I will say, and I do have to share because if
yes.
you read my story in
Mm-hmm.
this book, you will understand that I was not in a kitchen. to learn how to cook from my mother, my aunties, my nana. I was not in the kitchen. I was too busy running away in the
Right.
street, going to parties, doing things that I thought I was big and bad enough to do.
Right.
That's what I was doing. So it is only the anointing from God. It is only His grace
Right.
and mercy that I
Mm.
can now get into a kitchen, create sauces, create flavors that have people licking their fingers and
Right.
asking for more.
Mm-hmm.
It is only because of God. It is
Yes.
only El Shaddai who
Yes.
created the new thing in me
Yes.
that enables me now to be able to create. I have 10 custom sauces.
Oh my goodness, I've yet to taste them.
And you will, though. Oh,
I
you will.
will. I
Oh, yeah,
will.
you will. You will.
We'll
And,
be
you
traveling
know,
there one day.
but it's mind blowing to me, even
Mhm.
still. It's mind
Right.
blowing. So I still, after people experiencing my food, when they contact me and they say, oh, it was amazing, everyone loved it, this, and this, it
Mhm.
still moves me in the same way. I'm still
Right.
humbled by it. Just as
Mhm.
when you were speaking earlier and you said, well, you may not see yourself as a famous person, but and I'm like, listen, let me say this to my clubhouse women, my clubhouse sisters, my daily inspiration sisters. Y'all
Yeah.
are not going to give me a big head. You hear me? I will not. I will.
Yes.
I will not. I will not. But I will say. I will say that I receive the love that you pour into me. I receive the kind words that you offer to me. I appreciate them, and I give them right back to you.
Yeah.
We are the same. We are the same. I don't care how many zeros is in your bank account, how many may not be in mine. We are the same. If I don't eat, I will die. If I don't have beverage, libation, I will die.
Right.
If I don't use the restroom, I will die.
Right.
So it's the same thing. I got to get dressed just like you guys. But I do understand.
Mhm.
I understand. And so I understand so much that I can tell you,
Mhm.
thank you.
You're
But
welcome.
I do know that it's the anointing that you all see.
Yes.
If you saw my filthy rags, if you all saw my filthy rags, you'd be saying, Sarah, all I do is what? It is because his blood covers my stains, is why you all see me the way that you do, the anointing and the call that he has on my life. That is why you see that. And I'm grateful. I
That's
am
a
grateful. And
blessing.
I thank you because that means that I'm doing my job. I'm
Right.
doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm in alignment with his will and his word. And that
Right.
is why you can see it. And I'm grateful.
Yes, you're
So
walking in
thank
your
you.
purpose. You're welcome. You're walking in your purpose, and that's what we all should be doing.
Yes.
Walking in our purpose and following His will. That,
Yes,
like I said,
absolutely.
for our life, right? And that's why we get on here and we share our stories of what we've been through. Like you said, we're sharing our filthy rags and putting our, like I said, putting our business out on Front Street,
That's
sharing
right.
what we've been through, the struggles that we've gone through, and how we overcame them, so that we can help the other little girl who's going through something, or the young lady who's going through something, or just the young man, even whoever's out there just listening and watching right now. If you're going through something, don't be afraid to talk to someone. Don't be afraid to share your story. You don't know who may be out there that can help you and guide you and lead you in the right direction. To pinpoint you to the help that's out there for you. Even feel free to reach out to any one of us here on this live right now, and we're here to help you. Just reach out. God puts people. I always say that God puts people in my path that are needed at that time, or either whether it's for a season or a certain reason, or whatever. But I always trust that He puts people in my path for a certain reason. So, and that's how I live my life, and I strive to be the person that He wants me to be. I strive to be that person for people, and I try to be transparent as much as possible so that people can see the real me. I don't want to be putting on any kind of airs or be, oh, I'm this person, that person. That's why y'all see I barely wear any makeup. I barely wear any. I put on a little bit now because I'm trying to look professional and everything.
Oh,
But
no,
this is me.
no,
This is
no,
Deborah. I'm gonna be me. I put on my little earrings, put a little color in my hair, and that's the one thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put some color in my hair, which is time for me to do a little bit more or whatever. But that's about it. That's me, and that's I'm gonna be me until he calls me home.
no.
And that's what it's all about, just being you, being real, following your purpose, just living how God wants you to be. That's right, Tashika, just being you. And so
Yeah,
that's what
be
it's
your
all about.
authentic
Be
self.
your
Yeah.
authentic self, be true to you, and following, the direction that God wants you to be. So this has been a truly, truly, truly amazing night tonight. I have truly enjoyed it, Sarah. I have truly
I
enjoyed
have as well. Thank you.
it.
Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. And I would like to say, is there anything else that you would like to leave the people with tonight?
A couple of things. I
Sure.
just want to say to the people, I know you've heard me mention mindset transformation. I
Yes.
do offer a mindset transformation workshop once a month. You can visit my website at sarah-osby.com. You can find out more information. You can reach out to me, follow me on Facebook and on Instagram. But definitely, I am asking you to please follow me, like, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Sarah. All I do is win Ausby. Please do follow, like, and then I'm going to ask you, for you women that are out there that are looking for your tribe, you're looking for support, encouragement, motivation, with some place that you can go where you can share things and not be judged and feel like you're in a safe space, join us. Join us 7 a.m., 7 days a week, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Download the Clubhouse app and look for the Resilient Black Women Community. You will find us there. Join us. We would love to have you. We would absolutely love to have you. And the last thing that I will share by way of events is Stand Up Authors Revival 2024. I am a speaker at this event. It will be held in Charlotte, North Carolina. Tickets are on sale now and they are going fast, and seating is limited. The event is from October 4th through October 6th. So please do go to my page, visit so that you can have the link, unless we can get it here, so that you can get your ticket and be a bigger, a better, a bolder you, as that is the theme this year. And if I could share a few words of wisdom, it would be this: if you transform your mindset, you will change your life. If you transform your mindset, you will change your life. And I am a living witness of that. And God tells us that we need to transform our mind daily in Romans 12:2. That is what I would share.
Thank you so much for that, Sarah. I was trying to find that link to the Resilient Black Women, but yes, you can find everything on her website, sarah-osby.com. And thank you so much for that, Sarah. And I do appreciate you, and I will have to have you back on the show again soon. Because we also have another, I do also have another segment that I am going to be bringing out. It's called Conversations That Heal. There's
Yes.
another episode that I have coming out soon. So I will be bringing you back on, just letting you
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very
know.
much. I appreciate it.
You are so welcome. I thank you again for coming on. And just to let you all know that we do have the All Words Matter Black Author Expo that is coming up the second Saturday in October. It's Saturday, October the 12th here in Aiken, South Carolina. So feel free to come on out and support. We have a lot of authors here. One of Tashika Wright is also, she's on here. She'll be here as well. We have a lot of authors that are going to be here in the area. Dr. Latoya, Dr. Mack, her Rainique Publishing is one of our sponsors. So feel free to come on out and support if you're going to be in the area or if you want to come into the area. We're between Augusta, Georgia and Columbia, South Carolina. And so again, come on out and support. But again, I want to thank you all for coming on the show tonight and watching and joining us with us and participating in the conversation. I have thoroughly enjoyed you all, and stay tuned for our next episode where we will have author Linda Crosby. She will be on this Thursday. And again, I want to thank you all so much, and you have a wonderful and blessed night. And you can hang around for just a moment, Miss Sarah.